home in Independence, President Truman leads the nation to the polls as Americans turn out in record numbers for a non-presidential election. Mr. Truman appears just as confident as he did 2 years ago when he engineered the most stunning upset in U.S. political history. But across the nation, it's the Republicans' turn to smile. In New York, Governor and Mrs. Dewey vote early as usual. In 48, they had to wait all night for the results. But this year, they know the answer within 2 hours at headquarters. The governor wins a third term with a smashing $500,000 margin. Elsewhere in New York, extreme leftist Vito Marcantonio is knocked out of Congress, losing to an unprecedented three-party coalition. One Democratic headquarters remains happy. As voting split tickets as never before, New Yorkers give Senator Herbert Lehman a plurality of 300,000 over his ailing Republican opponent Joe Hanley, who, exhausted by the campaign, is hospitalized and unable to vote. But it's acting Mayor Vincent Impellitteri here getting wifely congratulations, who provides New York's biggest surprise. Backed by no major party, he's the first independent to become mayor in city history. In Connecticut, the Republicans take over the governorship as Representative John Davis Lodge, brother of the Massachusetts senator, wins a narrow victory. But as in New York, voters split their tickets, and though the GOP defeats Governor Chester Bowles, it loses both Senate races. Bowles' former advertising partner, Senator William Benton, left, squeaks through for a 2-year term, but his margin so small a recount may be demanded to prove it. Connecticut Senator Brian McMahon, chairman of the Congressional Joint Atomic Energy Committee, wins easily for a full 6-year term. But the administration's joy is short-lived. From Maryland comes the upset of the day. Republican John Marshall Butler, a lawyer running for his first office, defeats Millard Tydings, who rejected Senator McCarthy's charges of communism in government. Tydings' defeat, and with it Republican T.R. McKeldin's election as governor, is followed in Illinois by another key administration figure's defeat, that of Senator Scott Lucas, Democratic Majority Leader. Ex-Congressman Fred Dirksen, who campaigned throughout the state against Truman's foreign policy, wins this Lucas had held for 12 years. Those Democrats come from coast to coast. In California, Congressman Richard Nixon, who helped bring Alger Hiss to trial, wins easily despite all-out administration efforts to defeat him. And the magic of the Roosevelt name isn't enough to save eldest son Jimmy from a crushing defeat in the gubernatorial race at the hands of Governor Earl Warren, like Dewey, elected for a third term. But it's in Ohio that the election story reaches its climax as Senator Robert A. Taft, often called Mr. Republican, submits his fate to the polls. Despite an all-out effort by labor to defeat him, he wins by an overwhelming 400,000. As the election results start rolling in, Mr. Republican and his party have every right to smile, gaining over 30 seats in the House and cutting the Democrats to a slim 2-vote Senate margin as the GOP surges back at the polls.